This video is brought to you by the EA Creator Network. Hey y'all, it is Luca and welcome back to the channel. Today we're building yet another tiny home in The Sims 4. Today's tiny home is going to be built here in Evergreen Harbor. This is the world that came with the Eco Lifestyle expansion pack. I got this idea randomly. I don't even remember. It's been a while. It's been kind of in the back of my head for a long time. It's building an underground tiny home. Now, I've done this before, but this is like a specific shape. It was based off of a picture. I'm pretty sure it's just like a render that someone made. But I'll pop it on the screen now to where you can see it. Really intriguing. I think the title of the image was something about like Earth Home or something like that. I'm not really sure. So I think first thing we need to do is go down into the basement level. So because this is how we're going to be able to build this in the first place. And we're going to build a little home. Now, I'm not going to make it a tiny house residential just yet because it may be a little bit off from the tiny home dimensions and stuff, but we'll see. Really quickly, before we get too far into the build, I just want to say a huge thank you to the EA Creator Network for always sponsoring the channel. You can use my creator code luccaowens at checkout. That is LUCCAOWENS, and you can support me directly. All you got to do is just type in my code luccaowens right in the little box where you type in a discount code. You don't really get a discount, but it does support me. But if you're going to be pre-ordering the new expansion pack, The Sims 4 Enchanted by Nature, just consider using my code. I would really appreciate it. But a big thanks to you all for using my code, and also a big thanks to EA for sponsoring the channel. So first thing I want to do is build like a tiny little bathroom kind of setup, just something simple like that. And then I'm going to do like this kind of shape where there's like a section right here, and then there's going to be like a little sleeping section right here, and then there's going to be like an entrance right down this little way. Maybe I will extend it a little bit right here, something like this maybe. And then we're going to get the ladders because putting in a ladder is going to make it the most practical. And then I'm also going to put a door right here. This is going to be like the little entrance to our tiny home. I'm just going to place down a regular door, a random door here. It's not going to stay that way. We have a little bit of a set up here. I'm thinking like a small kitchenette right here, a sleeping quarters area, and then maybe like a little living space with a tiny little bathroom. And then on the main surface, there's actually a little bit of there's like some stuff going on, not a lot. Now, the image that I'm looking at is a little bit different than what I'm probably going to do. It looks like there's like some concrete around it, but I almost want to put this on a foundation. I don't know if that's going to actually work with the ladder tool. I'm going to remove it really fast so we can see, but I think it'd be kind of cool to have this sort of, lifted up a little bit. I don't know if a platform will work. This is all experimental. We're trying to figure this out together. Oh, okay. It seems to work. It doesn't. Ooh, you can see some issues right there. But regardless, I mean, we could actually, instead of making this into a platform, we can make this into a foundation instead. I feel like that might work a little bit better. No, we're getting basically the same issue, but we can just, I think, put it on like one little layer right there. Just, I don't know. I'm not really sure why, but I just think it looks kind of like more structural that way. And then what I was going to do actually is on the top level here, since it's quite of a small home, we could put in maybe just like a little fenced in section on top, something like this maybe. And then we're going to use some little half walls, I think, on the actual little, whatever you want to call this, the little platform. And I don't think I'm going to add any steps, but I almost feel like I need to lift it up one more notch so that I can add some steps. Put steps on either side, and then up here can kind of be like a little kind of like little garden space. Maybe they grow their own food up here. We'll even put down some grass just to make it look kind of grown in. Maybe we'll surround this with some like junk, some rocks, make it kind of look like it's been an abandoned space, but it's actually a little sanctuary, like underground bunker kind of vibe. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. I like that idea a lot. I'm using some of this like galvanized metal I think that looks really fun. I don't really use that kind of stuff in my builds very often for obvious reasons, of course, but it's kind of fun to, try some new things. And I'm just going to use these stairs from the Get to Work expansion pack. It just seems to be those are the best looking ones, at least for this vibe. I'm not really sure. I didn't really have much of an idea, much of a plan for this little space here, but I don't know. I'm liking this kind of vibe. I'm just kind of putting in like some cinder blocks here. Do I want to make this also a half wall? I don't know. Kind of am liking this fence here. It's from Eco Lifestyle, and it kind of, it fits the vibes quite well. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna go with this fence. I went through quite a few kind of variations of the all different fences and stuff, and I feel like this just looks the best. What if instead of this being just like an exposed kind of platform, how about we put just full on walls above it? I feel like that would look kind of nice. And then what we can do is build a ceiling, and then we'll also put on a little roof. Maybe we'll put like this little roof on, and we'll add these tin roofs or whatever, sheet metal roof. There is one that has like little bits in it that looks like there's skylights in it, like broken ones. I kind of like that a lot, actually. Yeah, it's just like a little mysterious little building here. Nobody really knows, what goes on up here, maybe. Ooh, yes. And then we'll use this crinkled metal from Strangerville, because honestly, that's the perfect texture. Okay, this is kind of something. We're focusing so much on the exterior, but we gotta make this function at least. I could do a kind of covered space for the garden area, but I don't know. I feel like I like it being open to the air like this. So maybe we can just put like some planter boxes, maybe like this. Actually, part of me wants to use these from the Werewolves pack because it looks like reclaimed wood. Yeah, and they have some like fun like wooden textures. Weirdly enough, the red is kind of a fun little pop of color. Maybe not red. Maybe just this blue. I think the blue is better. And then maybe we can just have them have a little bit of a outdoor kind of sitting area. Like, we're not gonna have anything that looks like really nice. I kind of like the idea of this like table here from the, what is it called? The Little Campers Kit? Something like that, maybe. I can't remember. And then there is some matching chairs, which we don't need them to be matching, but I kind of like that, actually. That looks really cute here. I think we'll put the table like right about here, maybe. And then they need some kind of outdoor cooking kind of situation, I can imagine. Maybe we'll use this barrel. I mean, that fits the vibe too. A reclaimed barrel for cooking out on. And then, ooh, we have to give them some of these little like insect farms too. I mean, come on. They're in Evergreen Harbor, they have to do that. I kind of like the blue. I don't know, the blue is speaking to me. I'm kind of liking this. And I think in order to kind of give them a little bit of shade and maybe a bit more privacy, we will throw in some trees and stuff too. I kind of want them to be a little bit on the sparse side. I really like this tree. Ooh, this tree is kind of wispy looking, and I kind of like it more than this one, actually. Ooh, I weirdly like this plant. Maybe they grew this plant themselves. Yeah, you kind of get the idea, right? It's kind of a little bit hidden by a bunch of trees. But yeah, we can look around and see that there's some of these trees too, so we'll kind of like maybe put the tree right here. I don't want anybody to be pretty much, I mean, we'll leave like maybe this side open so that we can see in, but you kind of get the idea. It's just kind of like a private little place. And we do need to add some lighting out here just so that, your Sims can see. I think, of course, we're going to go with just like some little like little lanterns and like stuff that looks like it would be here in Evergreen Harbor, if that makes sense. Particularly in the off the grid section of the category or in the catalog, you can go to the lighting section. And honestly, I feel like that stuff is going to be perfect for this house. Ooh, there's a lantern. That's kind of fun. It's got a candle in it. And then for outdoor lighting, I mean, this kind of seems fun. It's from Outdoor Retreat. It's just like a little hanging lantern, do the gray version, actually. Ooh, that's actually kind of fun. And then we'll just kind of put down, some other lighting here and there. There is a light that came with Strangerville that's just kind of, capturing my, memory randomly. This one right here, I don't know what it is, but it just looks like it'd be perfect for this house. All right, so we got the general idea. I do want to kind of create sort of like a, you know, normal-ish looking like pathway to the main part of the house. Ooh, this like kind of textured kind of stone looks good. We'll like, you know what, we'll do something a little different. We'll do like a diagonal kind of like twisty little path like this. And then the rest of this is just going to be filled with a bunch of just like grass and weeds and everything. In fact, I'm actually going to place down a bunch of rocks, I think, for sure. You know, I kind of like these rocks being here. It kind of looks like they fell from the hill slowly. Okay, and then our next little task is just filling all this with like more rocks and weeds and stuff. I'm actually going to look around here for inspiration. Okay, so you can see here, I found the main plants that you see kind of scattered around. Now I am going to throw in some lavender just for the fun, just for the, you know, the vibes. And I'm just going to, you know, go through and place down everything that I want on this lot for a bit here. I will meet back with you momentarily in actually 2.45 seconds. I don't know. This is kind of what we're going with. A lot of grass. I really just kind of looked right here for inspiration, but I kind of went 10 times the amount. I actually really also love what's going on over here. I kind of want to find this fence if I can. If not, I'll just find something similar. Ooh, I found it actually. Perfect. We can put some of this here as well. Ooh, that's exciting. I really love doing builds like this because it kind of pushes me to use some different things, you know? Yeah, we'll put a couple of those fences there. Maybe also one here. I have this pile of rocks. We'll put it like right there. We'll put one more fence right here. That looks so fun, actually. We will need to put in a mailbox just to make it functional. We'll put this one because it's kind of like an old one. And I also really like the idea of putting in some junk around because, you know, you gotta add some, you know, trash and, you know, other nonsense around because, you know, it'll just add to the vibe some more. You know, this is like, it's supposed to look a little bit abandoned, a little bit run down. Oh, not a little bit, a lot of it run down. Okay, but that's kind of fun. And yeah, we'll just put some trash bags over here, some piles of garbage to just kind of in the grass. You know, this isn't a great place, but maybe the people who live here are attempting to clean it up and it's just taking them some time. Ooh, there's also some good stuff from the werewolves pack. Honestly, like the werewolves pack and evergreen or eco lifestyle, definitely a good mix. Ooh, actually, we're going to use the werewolves mailbox here. That's so perfect. Awesome. And we do need a proper like trash bin. Ooh, this one looks like the most realistic one that I've seen in the game. This is from Businesses and Hobbies. Oh my gosh, that's perfect. Yes. Okay. I really like the exterior so far. I like the little kind of clean little sanctuary. I actually kind of like it really like clean cut and nice in there. It's like a nice getaway from the chaos out here. I think the last thing that I want to do is just to add a couple more trees just to kind of, you know, sit in between these rocks and everything so that it's not exterior, interior. So the interior of this little abode is, you know, we're going to put metal on the outside, even though you can't see that. We're just going to pretend. Let's put in some lighting really fast so that we can see. I actually forgot to add something that I meant to add. So this is kind of in the original build, but there's these kind of like what I've heard people call light wells. So these are like little rooms that you'll actually see in really big buildings that the interior rooms don't really get any like natural daylight. So they have these like really tall like light wells where it's basically just like open to the outside, but it's just small enough to let in some air and some light. And I think that's kind of a fun idea to use here. So basically you'll just build a room and then remove the ceiling so that there is some, you know, you can see some light right there coming in. That way you can put windows inside, have the ability to have some natural light on the interior. I think what I'll do to kind of cover these up is I'm going to use this item. It is an awning. We could use just these like little awnings here. They kind of fit really well, actually. I was going to use something different, but I kind of like this. We'll use the blue. That's fun. And it's really just, for the vibes, but I kind of love that actually. And then we can put in some, proper little windows in here. Granted, I kind of want to use this window from the werewolves pack just for the vibes. Maybe I should do the same thing over here too. Maybe this should be extended a little bit. That's kind of fun actually. I'm kind of here for that. Okay, for the interior walls, I kind of want to go with something that's like I can't really explain it. I don't want it to be, this plaster. That's the word I'm looking for. This kind of like plaster from Eco Lifestyle is kind of perfect. It has a green footprint. I'm thinking actually I might use a bluish tint like throughout the whole house. Maybe we'll then use like this one with a white section of it. I kind of like that actually. And then for the door, the very front door, this one's perfect. It's a little, what is this one called? This is an inviting swing out door. This is from Strangerville. I feel like it's kind of perfect for this space. The blue is really cute. I'm really liking the blue tones. So let's start on the interior proper. I have been kind of like going back and forth with some ideas, but I think I've got it. So I want to kind of like, if you look out here, you can kind of get the idea. There's a lot of reclaimed wood, but it's still like they're trying to build something, so that's kind of the vibe I think I'm going to go with. I like this flooring from the Spooky Day stuff pack. I feel like that's going to look really good here. And then for the little kitchen kind of space here, I want to use like that one tiling from werewolves. I can't remember where it is in this category or the catalog right here. It's kind of got like a little bit of a broken design, something like that. Actually looks really fun. I think we'll start with just like the kind of sleeping kind of living space. So I think I'm going to put like a bed on a bunk, kind of like a lifted up one. I believe this house is really just going to be for one sim. Let's be honest. It's just going to be a single sim living here. Something like that looks really cute. And then we're going to give them just like a little bit of a, space. Now, should I put like a love seat under here? It does look like that it just kind of clips in there, which is kind of nice. I feel like this one fits really, really well. Ooh, I like the green. And then we will give them, I guess right here, we'll give them like a small little TV kind of moment. What fits the vibes? This kind of does. It's kind of like a reclaimed wood. And then I think there is some good swatches here. Yeah, I like that. I want there to be some kind of wood tones in here, but not much. We'll give them just kind of like this old TV maybe, or maybe we'll give them a little bit of a nicer TV. Why not? And then I think next to it here, I would like to put some kind of like dresser, kind of, wardrobe kind of moment. This one really kind of spoke to me the second that I brought it out. Ooh, I do like the colors on these a lot. Ooh, I like that weirdly enough. I don't know if it fits, but I don't know. I kind of like it. I'm going to go with it. And then this little nook here, we're just going to put in a desk. I was going to put the desk like this and then have it facing out, but part of me wants to put like this little desk here and just have this like be like a little working kind of corner here. We use this like reclaimed like school desk, and then we'll just put like a little laptop here. Let's see, this is kind of a fun chair for this, but I feel like that's a little too on the nose. Maybe we'll use this one right here. A little touch of the blue again, kind of from that bed. That's kind of nice. I mean, it's not nice. I have this plaster on the wall just because I wanted like a blank kind of slate, but I really want there to be like something. This looks kind of fun. This is a vine wallpaper from the Love Struck expansion pack. I kind of like that as like a little accent wall, just to kind of be like, bring in a little bit of greenery. And I do want to add some like texture, some more texture to the wall. Unfinished workshop wall. This actually kind of looks good for some of this. And then maybe this little wall here can just be more of this metal here from the outside. However, I kind of want to like clean it up a little bit. We'll do like a cleaner version. I'm kind of liking the overall feel. Now I want to make sure there's a door right here for the bathroom, but I don't want to just use the same like door that I used on the front. I think we'll just use this door here. It is just a really simple door. I think it was like a bathroom door that they removed the like little icons from, and I'm really thankful for that actually. We'll just do like a really simple gray one actually. And I want the kitchen to not really feel like a full on kitchen. Like I want to make it look like it's like a temporary little thing. I guess this little mini fridge, maybe they just got this mini fridge, so it's going going to look a little bit on the newer side. Just do the gray, honestly. And for counters, part of me wants to use the beat up ones, but let's look at just this plain like bland co one from the base game, just because it does look new-ish, but it has some texture to it. And then we'll scooch that over so there isn't much of a gap. And I think for the main food prep, I think we're just going to put in like a microwave. We'll do this one, I guess. And we do need to give them a little sink. Maybe just this one. I was going to try to do something really modern and out there. Oh, wait, no, this one's perfect. This one's from one of the newer kits. I don't remember what it's called, to be perfectly honest with you. I should probably know. But yeah, that's a nice little kitchen space. Maybe I'll add another piece of countertop right here, actually, just so that they have some more, prep area. But I want to give them a coffee pot too. This one is really cute. It's from the Bistro kit. I guess it's the Bistro kit. I can't remember what it's called. I kind of like the gray. We'll just use that one. This little shelf from Get to Work is kind of perfect because it just, it looks like metal. I like the little touch of copper. I feel like that's going to add some well-needed color here. And then we'll just give them, some mugs here. We'll put a couple right here. And what else do they need? I feel like a couple of mugs, maybe a little stack of those plates. They're called paranormal plates, but they're from the Snowy Escape expansion pack. This little stack right here is actually kind of perfect. I just wanted there to be, something here that's kind of perfect right there. And then I think I want to look under, I'm pretty sure it's a debug item, and I want to see if I can find like little bags of coffee. Perfect. Just little bags of coffee. This is actually just a little base game item. It's the item that your Sims hold whenever they're filling up their coffee maker. I feel like that's such a nice little detail. And ooh, these little boxes of cereal we'll put here. That's kind of cute. I don't know. I'm just throwing in some stuff, throwing in some things. And then I kind of want to put this little plant right here, but I'm having a hard time doing it without move objects. So I'm just gonna use my little fancy little 9-key lifted up here. That's cute. I just wanted there to be something tall and something with green there. I feel like that's cute. We'll add like a little hand towel right here too, and some little hand soap, something like that. Yes. Oh, I kind of want to throw this little bucket of just cleaning supplies right here in the corner. I don't know. This is going to be kind of an unconventional build, so why not? And I like this little mat. I like the red color, actually. Kind of adds some color variety in here. This is something that I love about tiny homes, is that you're kind of forced to really like decide what items you want to use to add a lot of character in here. Like I like this little pop of red. It stands out with all the gray really well and the cool tones. We'll put a little stack of files here. Just like some random things. Ooh, a little like water bottle here maybe. They gotta stay hydrated, We'll put it like right here. And we'll put a dirty mug right there too as well, because we all have at least one dirty mug next to our computer. See, that's what I'm talking about, is like we're able to appreciate the smaller touches of detail, than we would if it was just like, a big house, and I kind of want there to be some kind of like wall art or something right here, maybe. Oh, you know what would fit so freaking well in here is some like water stains on the wall. That's going to add so much just vibes. I love it. We'll add like a crack over here, I think. There is this like kind of tear on the wall here. Maybe we can put it like here above the door or something. Or do we want to use one of these? This looks like a busted out section of the wall. And we've got some like drips and stuff from the For Rent pack. Oh, my goodness, that's just so perfect. It adds just the right amount of grunge. Strangerville also has some really good ones too, so I'm gonna add a few of those in as well. You can kind of layer them up too, and you kind of get more vibes. That's really fun. And then I feel like this little corner is good. Let's focus on this little corner here. I would like to put some like shoes or something under the TV, just as like a little storage space. I also would like to put more shelves on this wall too. I'm thinking just these like really plain ones. I don't really want anything that's too new looking. Like this one is perfect. I think I will try to do this dark wood just to kind of match this maybe, or maybe I should do the lighter wood. I kind of like the lighter wood. It's a little bit more contrasting. It works with this too. And we're just going to add some, bits and bobs to this as well. We're just going to add some like books and stuff. So it looks kind of weird what I'm doing right now, but I am going to use this shelf by Picture Amoeba. Please go check out their content. They're all over the internet, but they have this really nifty little shelf that it does go invisible if you want. There is some weird lighting things. I think it's just because of the way the game works, but that's not a bad thing because you can see it still. But basically this shelf has a ton of like slots on it. Like you can see everything kind of snaps to it, so you can use it to clutter up shelves. And that is so important if you're trying to add a lot of character and just you want to decorate these shelves and you just can't because, obviously, nothing snaps to them for some reason. Like, I don't know why the Sims team decided that. Just give them a nice little variety of colors. I love that they added new colors to these books though, so that it looks, a little bit better. We'll add some maybe some games as well here. I would love to be able to put this on top of those. Let's actually just see if I can get this to work. Oh my gosh, yes. See, that's what I'm talking about. You can add anything on top of anything pretty much using this. So I highly recommend it if you don't have it in your game, and you don't even have to leave it in your game so it doesn't mark it as having custom content. Ooh, some board games on top of yes, that's so great. So we'll put this here. This is going to be where that is. Okay. We'll do this where we kind of line it up with where it's going to be. We'll move this out of the way, and then we just place this down and then you can also just, put it on top of the shelf there, but this makes it a little bit easier to put more things on top. Put some board games too. Maybe they do have friends over from time to time. I kind of want a plant up here too. Like I feel like putting a plant up here is going to be such a nice way to add some detail. Ooh, this one's so perfect. I love this one. It's so cute. I want like a candle or something here. Something just to kind of light up that little corner. Oh, I kind of like the idea of there being some candles over here, just because, it's like they try to go with more natural sources of light. I know it's kind of a fire hazard probably, but you know what? It's for the vibes. Okay, and then I think a little coffee table here would look really cute. Maybe, this one might work the best because it kind of is that kind of metal kind of vibe. Kind of like that, like the little pop of wood tone there. And then for a rug in here, do I like this one? Kind of. I kind of do. I don't know. I like how simple it is. And then maybe here in the corner, we can just add in a couple little cushions just to kind of add a little bit of some extra seating, but also just some comfort too. And then maybe we'll put some posters or something up just to kind of cover up how drab the wall looks. Okay, but like this, I always like to place down. Or do we want to put this one in? I kind of like this one a little bit more just for the vibes. Yeah, that one's a little bit nicer, more in line of the vibe that I get from the sim that lives here. As always, do let me know what kind of sim lives here. Like, what's their name? Give me some ideas, because I don't know. I just feel like they're like into science, maybe. What if they're kind of into anime too or something? I don't know. Oh, I kind of like this like periodic table of elements. I have been so out of school that I don't even remember periodic table of elements. Is that right? I kind of like that being there. Maybe they're into the science career. I don't know. At this point, I'm kind of just placing stuff purely vibe based. Ooh, we do need a little hamper in here. Maybe we can tuck this in like right under the bed right here. Maybe they do their laundry. I don't know. Yeah, we'll just put some like random bits and bobs. That's always the fun bit. Just a little box of nothing there. And maybe they do some sports here. Maybe they try to be active. I like that. That's cute. I do think, though, we need like a little lamp or something right here. Part of me wants to copy the light from outside into here and then like hang it like right there. So they have like a little bit of a bedside light. That's cute. I don't really think there's anything else I really need to add in here. And then I think what I'm going to do is I am going to get rid of these lights because personally, I just like more realistic looking lights. I think this little light here, it's actually from Get to Work, and it is kind of a fun little light. It's like an interrogation light or something. I don't know, but I don't know. I kind of like the vibes. And then we do have a little bathroom that we do need to decorate in here. I think I'm just going to kind of copy some of the same, things in here. We'll just use the same kind of wallpapers in the floor as well. And then what I'm going to actually do is put in some more water stains. I like these a lot. These add so much character, and we just need to add in, you know, a little bathing section. I kind of want to put this little steel toilet from the Get to Work expansion pack just for the vibes, honestly. And then for the shower, I actually want to do this hygienic decontamination pod just because it does fit in with the vibe. And plus, apparently this item, if you have like an illness, it actually gets rid of the illness. Blown away. I did not realize that. Do I want to use that though? Or do I want to use this little DIY? I kind of want to use this instead. I know that I just, you know, spoke highly of that, but I really like this item a lot. This is actually kind of perfect. Yeah, that just fits the vibes really well. And then we'll just kind of scooch this toilet over. So hopefully it's accessible. If not, it's for the vibes, you know? And we'll just put like a little light in here. This isn't really going to be much of a nice room. You know, it's a bathroom in an underground bunker. So it's not supposed to be nice. They have the toilet roll on the back. There's not a holder. I know. And let's see, what else should go in here? Probably like a plunger. Maybe something like this. I feel like that fits quite perfectly right there. Sure, maybe just some like towels or a towel on the wall or something like that. Maybe this right here. Yeah, just like a little brown towel, or maybe like a little funky like red, a little pop of red. That seems all right. All right. I really, really like this house, and I honestly feel like it's kind of done. That being said, what if I added a little table in here? I know that's kind of probably asking for a lot, but just a little table. It does work pretty well. Just like a little table right here. It's a little cramped, but you know, we'll pretend it works. Well, I think that's pretty much it. So honestly, I think this would be really fun to renovate into something really like nice and modern and sleek, or maybe make it kind of magical and cozy and cabiny or something like that. But I really, really enjoy this little house. It's super cute, super fun. I love the way it looks from the outside. Like, this is such a vibe. But anyways, I hope y'all enjoyed today's video. Do let me know in the comments down below what you think, and let me know who the sim is that lives here. You know, let me know their name, let me know their vibe, their story maybe. But anyways, I hope y'all enjoyed it. Do let me know in the comments down below what you thought of it. And yeah, that is pretty much it. Thank you all so very much for watching. Stay weird, and I'll speak to y'all next time. Bye, y'all.